I grew up surrounded by the soul of the Staple Singers, the fire of Curtis Mayfield, and the raw truth of Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. That sound, the sound of the people, was the foundation of everything I understood about music. Some artists borrow influences. Prince consumed them whole. He pulled rock, soul, and funk into his orbit, and from that, he created something that felt like electricity turned into flesh. He rarely opened up about the music that shaped him. But when he did, the choices were spiritual, bold, and sometimes surprisingly off-center. He once said that watching other musicians could feel like standing in front of a painting you're itching to adjust, always noticing the details, always wanting to correct something. Behind all the mystique lived a man who worshipped the records that taught him rebellion, restraint, distortion, and beauty. These were the albums he studied in silence, the ones he measured himself against, the ones woven into his DNA. Today, on Legends Uncovered, we open that vault. Here are the 10 rock albums Prince held closest, and how each one shaped the architect of modern pop. Number 1. The psychedelic masterpiece that blew open his imagination. Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. The Beatles' Prince saw this album as a complete reset button for creativity, a guide on how to reinvent yourself from the ground up. Its theatrical, colorful world-building taught him that rock could be a universe, not just a sound. This album didn't just inspire him, it dared him. Sgt. Pepper showed him that an artist could abandon the familiar, build a new identity overnight, and then use that identity to break every rule in sight. Prince spent hours studying the way the songs flowed into each other, how the orchestral touches blended with imagination, and how the entire project felt like a single story. For Prince, reinvention wasn't betrayal, it was evolution, and Sgt. Pepper gave him permission to evolve endlessly. Number 2. The live revolution that redefined guitar expression. Band of Gypsys, Jimi Hendrix. This album struck Prince like a jolt, raw, unfiltered, politically alive. He admired Hendrix not only as a virtuoso, but as a man who used the guitar as a truth-telling instrument. Every time Prince tore into one of his scorching live solos, the energy of Band of Gypsys pulsed underneath it. Hendrix taught him that distortion could be emotion, that improvisation could be confession, and that a guitar could speak the parts of the soul that words cannot reach. Prince often said that the guitar should reveal what language hides, and this album embodied that belief completely. Number 3. The polished perfection that showed him the power of emotion. Rumors, Fleetwood Mac Prince respected this album for its discipline, its emotional tension, and its flawless craftsmanship. Rumors was living proof that heartbreak could sharpen music instead of destroying it. What fascinated him most was how a band on the edge of collapse created one of the tightest, most carefully constructed albums in history. Prince admired how Rumors blended vulnerability with technical greatness. He always repeated that true artistry turns conflict into design, and this album did exactly that. Whenever Prince approached a studio session with microscopic precision, Rumors was one of the silent guides at his side. Number 4. The poetic soundscape that blended art and mystery. The Hissing of Summer Lawns. Joni Mitchell. Prince adored Joni Mitchell's fearless songwriting, and this album in particular captivated him with its unconventional forms and painter-like textures. It didn't follow rules, it followed truth. The album's layered poetry and experimental structures validated Prince's instinct to ignore genre limits. Mitchell taught him that songs could be portraits, complex, demanding, and quietly revolutionary. Prince loved how Joni refused to simplify anything. Her lyrics wandered, questioned, observed, and Prince believed deeply that real artists must wander to discover the truth. This album wasn't influence, it was affirmation. Number 5. The soulful groove that shaped his sense of harmony. That's the way of the world. Earth, wind, and fire to Prince. This record lived where soul, rock, funk, and spiritual warmth met. He admired its lush harmonies, its arrangements, and its glowing emotional generosity. Earth, Wind and Fire proved that technical mastery could sit comfortably beside sincerity. Prince studied the shimmering orchestration, the rhythmic lift, and the optimism that radiated through every track. He often said that music should uplift the spirit without lying about life, and this album achieved that rare balance. Its influence echoes especially in his early band projects, where he pushed musicians to marry precision with pure feeling. Number 6. The monumental double album that embodied creative freedom. Songs in the Key of Life. Stevie Wonder Prince saw this as one of the most ambitious musical statements ever made. He considered it rock in sheer scope, even if not by genre. Stevie Wonder showed him that boundaries were illusions. Prince devoured the album's orchestral layers, its genre blending, its emotional range, from joy to grief to cosmic wonder. He admired how every instrument felt emotionally alive. He often paraphrased that true genius is the courage to dream without limits. No album captured that belief more than Songs in the Key of Life. It didn't just influence Prince, it challenged him. Number 7. The thunderous classic that ignited his love for rock grandeur. Led Zeppelin IV. Led Zeppelin. This album taught Prince how to build atmosphere, how power and fragility could live in the same space. He was drawn to the thunder of the riffs, the mystical undertones, the dramatic contrasts between electric storms and quiet acoustic passages. Prince studied how Zeppelin created tension through space, reverb, silence, breath. He believed music should unfold like a story. And Led Zeppelin IV delivered that sense of mythic narrative in every track. Its spirit lived in the cinematic textures of Prince's later ballads and sweeping arrangements. Number 8. The funk explosion that celebrated unity and rebellion. Stand, Sly and the Family Stone. This album didn't just influence Prince, it shaped him. Stand fused rock, funk, and social fire into something both joyful and revolutionary. Prince absorbed every groove, every harmony, every bold piece of commentary. He admired how Sly Stone wrapped truth inside rhythm, protest inside celebration. Prince studied the layered vocals and the democratic energy of the arrangements, every musician contributing, every voice mattering. Whenever Prince mixed funk with theatrical spectacle or slipped subtle activism into his lyrics, the fingerprints of Stand were present. Number 9. The Latin-infused firestorm that fueled his rhythmic instincts. Santana III. Santana Prince was mesmerized by Carlos Santana's lyrical guitar storytelling. Santana III blended Latin rhythms, jazz touches, and spiritual intensity in a way that felt like a conversation rather than a performance. He admired how Santana's melodies rose and fell like speech, emotional, fluid, breathing. Prince studied the rhythmic pulse beneath the guitar, learning how percussion could elevate melody into something meditative. Whenever Prince stepped into a solo that felt less played and more unveiled, Santana's influence was shimmering just under the surface. Number 10. The glam odyssey that inspired his fearless alter egos. The rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. David Bowie. Prince saw Bowie as a fearless creative sibling. Ziggy Stardust wasn't just an album, it was a universe. Its theatricality, its world-building, its reinvention of identity struck Prince like a lightning bolt. Bowie proved that a persona wasn't a mask, it was an instrument. Prince admired how Bowie mixed cosmic scale with human fragility, how he used character to deepen meaning instead of hide behind it. This album pushed Prince to create his own myths, his own characters, his own alternate selves. Ziggy taught him that transformation wasn't running away. It was liberation. Prince's relationship with these 10 albums reminds us of one simple truth. Genius doesn't appear out of thin air. It grows from the records studied in private, from the artists who light the path when no one else is watching. These albums didn't just shape Prince's sound, they shaped his courage, his imagination, and his belief that music could transcend every border placed in front of it. Influence became transformation. Transformation became legacy. And that legacy still pulses through every studio and stage he ever touched.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.